Hi everyone, and welcome to the latest episode of Just Good Games. Right, in this episode we will be reviewing Devil May Cry 5. Now I know what you're saying, oh Louis, that came out a couple months ago. Well, there was a lot of big releases at the start of this year, and I've only just got round to playing it. I finished it the other week, and I've had a little time to mull it over, so here are my thoughts on Devil May Cry 5. So as I said, this game came out a couple months ago. It actually came out on March the 8th of 2019 to be precise. And it came out for Xbox One, PlayStation 4 and Microsoft Windows, and I played it on PlayStation 4. It is an action-adventure game and a hack-and-slash game, and it was developed and published by Capcom. Now, even though it says it's Devil May Cry 5, it is actually the 6th game to be brought out under the Devil May Cry name, but in 2013, DMC, which was a reboot of sorts, was wildly panned, even though it actually was quite a good game. The reason it was panned is because of the redesign of Dante, and people didn't like it, and so in this game they've actually sort of just ignored that game, and the continuity from number 4 has just carried over to this one. And speaking of number 4, Nero, who was the new character in number 4, is actually front and centre in this game. You can actually play as 3 characters in this game, and it sort of swaps depending on what mission you're on, and on some missions you can pick which character you use it as. So I'm going to start with talking about Nero here. Nero, who I actually think looks a bit like Cody Rhodes in this game, is probably the worst character out of the 3 characters, which is not a bad thing. If I was to say the best character is like 10 out of 10, then you put Nero at about a 7 or 8. It's not bad, it's just it's not as good as the other characters. He has a robotic arm in this one as opposed to the demon arm which he had in number 4, and you get various different attachments and upgrades throughout the game. His gameplay is just very standard hack and slash. He doesn't have many special abilities outside of the robotic arm, which I think is where he falls down, and it's not as fun to play as some of the other characters. Which brings me on to the second character, who is a new addition for the Devil May Cry series, which is V. V is pretty cool, as he doesn't have that standard hack and slash gameplay. He actually summons different beasts. He has 3 beasts, and you use them to take on the enemies. He has a bird, which is pretty much your gun, which shoots, a jaguar, which is like your sword, and a big rock golem thing, which you summon, which is like your special ability, and that is pretty cool. He's a really nice addition, and is a really big change of pace from the other characters, and I really enjoy playing as him. Which brings me on to the final character, Dante. This is Dante's game. Even though they want it to be Nero's game, this is Dante's game. He is the best character to play as. He is so cool. It's almost like they looked at the reboot and went, okay, we're just going to make Dante so cool. We're going to make him so good in this one. We're going to give him all the abilities. We're going to give him all the powers, and we're just going to make him really fun to play as. He is an absolute joy to play as. He has a shotgun, he has 4 different play styles, he has power-ups for his sword, he has a devil demon mode. He is absolutely so fun and so cool to play as. So I'm going to give you a bit of a tiny bit of spoiler here. It's not mega, but you don't get to play as him in the first half of the game, and I've got to figure in the reason this is if you started off as him, you just wouldn't want to play as the other characters. So there you go. But unfortunately, where this game falls down for me is the level design. And I don't mean like how good the environments look, as there's a lot of environments and they look awesome, and there's a lot of variety in where the characters go. I mean in actually how the levels are designed. It's just a sort of every level is very similar in the way you get through it. And I know this is sort of the hack and slash formula, but games like Bayonetta and Bayonetta 2 have introduced other sections which sort of break that up. In Devil May Cry, you just have like a corridor or like an open world corridor type thing, and then it puts you into another big section where you fight enemies, and then you do the same, rinse and repeat, and then there's a boss. There's one level where there's a couple puzzles, but there's not as many puzzles in this game. When I compare this game to Bayonetta 1 or 2, it just lacks that bit of variety, as I think Bayonetta 1 and 2 hold the crowns for the hack and slash genre now. The graphics obviously look amazing, as this is the first Devil May Cry game to be properly made on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Although DMC was on it, there was still a cross-gen thing on it. To be honest, like, it is a bit slow to start, and again, I think that's what sort of left me down with it. It like takes you about mission 9 or 10, which is halfway through the game, to get into it. And when Dante gets into it, it does ramp it up a bit. and it does really hit some big moments at the end, but again, it just falls short for me. It really tries to get that crown back and comes really close. I know a lot of reviews gave it 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10, and put it on par with Bayonetta and like all the Platinum games, hack and slash games. But I don't agree with that. I think it falls just a bit short due to the lack of set pieces and the level designs. The three characters are awesome. The amount of moves, the variety in the three characters, I think that works really well. The bosses are really good, but it just needed a little bit more to put it over the edge for me. So that's why I'm going to give Devil May Cry 5 an 8.5 out of 10. So there you have it. That was my review of Devil May Cry 5. So obviously, like, share, subscribe on the YouTube, and thank you again for watching Just Good Games.